All right, my good people. How y'all doing? Welcome back to the Dirty Pat Walsh channel here on YouTube with me, Dirty Pat Walsh. I'm finally recovering from this morning's massive snuff and other stuff unboxings. That put tears in my eyes. I'm very grateful. But I'm looking through the stuff because I want to review some stuff, of course. And I'm trying to think what there is that I haven't reviewed before. You know, there's all the Stokers. I've done all those. There's Hawken, all the Skull fruits. I did the lemon this morning, or the citrus this morning. There's a couple bags of chewing tobacco, and I had a chew earlier on, but I'm going to get to those another time because I feel like something different. So the only other thing I haven't really tried out of all this stuff is, other than the repackaged Skull Snooze, which is probably a lot like the old package Skull Snooze. I might go over a couple things, and I'm definitely going to do the Jolly Rancher Dollar Store Alley Candy Alley dip, because I got citrus, berry, cherry, apple, peach. I think that's all I need. I can even throw in a little Timberwolf peach. That's gonna be cool. Anyhow, but the only other thing I haven't really done is these Grizzly mint pouches. And now I did the Grizzly mint before. I really like it. It reminds me a lot of the Skull Classic Mint, and that's, you know, for a good time in the 90s, that was my everyday dip. The blue Skull. I loved it when it came out there. When Long Cut first started being available, that's what I switched to. So loved it. I still love it. I've had it's funny because a little over a year ago, about a year ago, June or July, I was thinking to myself, I was thinking, man, I wish, because you can't get that stuff in Canada anymore. I was wishing I had a can of Skull Mint. I was like, fuck, I just wish I had I just wish I could taste it. And then I walked down to my driveway to put the trash out, and there was a fresh, uncracked can of Skull Mint. I still have the can in my pile of empties. Brand new fucking can of American Skull Mint. I couldn't fucking believe it. Sometimes I feel the cosmos just align with my situation. It's funny, almost a year to that week, I found an empty can of Blue Skull in the same spot, just this past summer, which is pretty funny. But anyhow, these Grizzly mint pouches. Now, the reason I'm going to do these is because last time Hillary sent me something, she sent me a whole roll of these Skull spearmint pouches. And now, you can say what you want about pouch dipping, right? I like it for a couple of reasons. I prefer to dip long cut or snuff, but I like pouches because, when you need to be discreet, when, like if you need to like throw your dip out quick and don't want to rinse your mouth out or whatever, they're, okay, in time when I can buy dip, which is basically never these days, and I only have, pouches here are a little cheaper than long cut. And the thing about pouches is, even though you get more tobacco in a can of long cut or snuff, pouches are all individually portioned, right? So you definitely get 15 pinches, even though they're little pinches, what I call Canadian pinches. Whereas in a can of long cut, if I just dip it freely, I'll have I think anywhere between 6 to 10 dips out of it. Usually around 7 or 8. So yeah, that's why I like pouch dipping. They're clean, they're efficient, they're discreet, they're economical in a way, and And yeah, and so I wanted to kind of A/B them. I have and I really like these Skull Spearmint. Now I used to buy the Skull Spearmint long cut when it hit the market, and I fucking loved it. It was I could only get it for a very short time, but my only complaint with it was a lot drier. Like it was naturally, even a fresh can was just drier than your average can of dip. I find that about their cherry too. It's kind of like that. So anyhow, yeah, I love these spearmint pouches, man. They're delicious. And when you're in it for the taste, not the buzz, like I love tobacco. I love the taste of tobacco. And, I like to have a little kick of nicotine, but I'm not in it. I don't use it to get that I'm not like a nicotine junkie, I enjoy tobacco for, where, kind of like an alcoholic who drinks to just fucking drink. And then there's the people who drink moderately and just enjoy the taste of alcohol. That's how I approach dip. So, even though I dip quite a bit, but I don't like jump out of bed and have to cram half a can of fucking Copenhagen in my mouth. You know what I mean? I'm usually good. So we're gonna crack. Oh yeah. The thing about Grizzly cans, man, they are fucking top-notch quality. They're so sturdy and thick, and the lids are always great, metal lids. If they I'm a sucker for a fiberboard can, and you cannot. I think the only the only fiberboard cans they make now, you can get them in the States, and I think the only one thing that comes in a fiberboard can is Copenhagen Snuff. And maybe Copenhagen long cut still, but I just don't know. I've never seen one in years since I was a kid. You know what I mean? So if these cans were made of fiberboard, they'd be just the fucking best. Oh yeah, crack it open here. Okay. Yeah, they smell just like the mint. The premium mint. It's not the premium dark mint. It's just the premium mint. I don't know why they call it premium. They don't have a budget mint, Not under the Grizzly name, anyway. I don't know what else they do. But all right. So they're good, man. They smell really good. They smell very pepperminty, right? Now, whereas these Skull ones, they're straight up spearmint. Like, this is like that white Wrigley's gum, that's what that tastes like. But yeah, these ones, these are straight up peppermint. I love peppermint. Now the pouches are really moist. They seem a little smaller than the Skull pouches. Let's have a look-see here. This is a Grizzly pouch. And that's a Skull pouch. So, you can see there. The Grizzly pouch is a little slimmer, and it looks to be sturdier than the Skull pouch. The one thing I have noticed about these Skull pouches, now I tend to fuck with my tobacco in my mouth a lot. Like, I'm always chewing on it or dicking around, And these pouches bust up on me like seconds after I put them in, but that's okay because they're full of fine cut. It's just like having a little lip of fucking snuff, you know what I mean? But Grizzly peppermint pouch. A lot of people put pouches up top. I do sometimes. I put snooze up top. That's how you're supposed to use it. Creates less spit. With snooze, you don't have to spit, right? So, hold on just for a sec here. Right, I've had this in for a couple minutes. Thing about pouches is they often take. Now, this is the one thing I found about these is they didn't as soon as you put these in, it's like blammo spearmint. But most other pouches take a little while because it's like they're wrapped in a fabric, right? And they take a little while to fully develop the taste. The pouches we get here in Canada, you can, at least in my town, the only kind of pouches that you can get General Snus in some places, but it's usually like a year out of date. So, and it's just as expensive as dip, if not more. I do love Swedish snus. I absolutely love Swedish snus. Swedish snus. Yeah, I love it a lot. It reminds me more of nasal snuff, and that's kind of where I did a lot of my tobacco use has been with nasal snuff, McChrystal's Menthol Original was my favorite with that, but yeah, pouches, they take a little more time to develop. And what I'm getting off this isn't overpowering at all. It's a lot milder than the Skull pouch for sure, and definitely a lot milder than the long cut Grizzly Mint. Like what I was saying, the only kind of pouches we can get here in Canada is Skull Straight pouches, or at least in my town. Like you can't even get Copenhagen natural pouches, just Skull Straight, Now, luckily, of all the straight dips, now straight dip is not my favorite of the dips. I kind of go like peppermint, wintergreen, straight. Actually, peppermint, wintergreen, natural, straight, and then like all the fruity ones. But like straight and all the fruity ones are kind of on the same level. But I like them all. I always say I just like dip. I don't give a fuck. I'm not so judgmental. I'm just grateful to have something to put in my face. But yeah, these pouches they have a really nice mild peppermint taste. Really, you can really taste the tobacco, which is nice because as a tobacco user, I like the taste of tobacco. That's the one drawback on these Skull pouches is even though they're absolutely fucking delicious and taste like chewing gum, you cannot taste the tobacco at all in them. So yeah, these Grizzly pouches, they're a real more even blend of tobacco and mint, and it's a peppermint, and it's a pretty mild peppermint to my taste anyway. Yeah. So Grizzly Mint pouches. They're pretty kick-ass. I like having pouches for when I go see my kids, like if I got to be up at the schoolyard waiting for my kids, and I want to have a dip, I don't want to have a big wad of fucking long cut and spitting that shit everywhere. Like if I just throw a pouch in, you don't spit as much, and it's just cleaner and more efficient. And that's why these are amazing. These Skull Snus pouches, portions as they call them, because you don't even have to spit with these babies. Yeah, they're good. I'm gonna do one of these pretty soon. I'm gonna see if they're any different than the other pack I got. But all right, so that's been Grizzly Premium Mint pouches. A Canadian perspective. I hope you all are being well, staying free, having an awesome Wednesday, and I'll see you soon in the meth end of town, back here in Sound Kitchen Studios